What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. This episode, we have the hilarious Julie Dobbs from the Mom Game podcast with Emily Jones and from 1310 The Ticket. This is a fun one, guys. Her stories from back in the day, her dating stories are two of the best stories I think I've ever heard. So I am so excited for you guys to hear this. You can catch Julie Dobbs on the Mom Game podcast. Make sure you guys download that podcast. It's available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. So make sure you check her out. You can see me. I have shows coming up. Let me tell you about them. March 4th and 5th at the Comedy Arena in downtown McKinney. I will be headlining that show. I want you guys to come out and pack that bad boy out. I'll be at Rollertown Beer Works in Salina, Texas, March 26th. And I'll be at the Addison Improv in Addison, Texas on March 30th. All right, guys, enjoy this episode.
Hey, are you talking about back in the day?
Nah, man. I'm talking about back in the day.
Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day.
Joining me today on the Back in the Day podcast from The Ticket and from the Mom Game podcast is Julie Dobbs. What's up, Julie?
Hey, not much. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to be here and to meet you and to see what all this is about.
You know, it's funny. I tell people like who's coming on my show and stuff. You're the most excited that people have gotten.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. That's
like,
a high bar.
I know. Like everyone was like,
I can't disappoint now.
Angela Dobbs on your podcast. I was like, yeah. They're like, awesome. Or I was like, all right,
well,
cool.
Good.
I've been binging your podcast.
Okay.
The last couple weeks.
Nice. Thank you.
It's awesome.
We need all the downloads and clicks we can get.
I'll download it on every app for you.
There
if you
you
want.
go, and just let it play.
Yeah, just let it play. I've been downloading it. And then today I listened to like 2 or 3 episodes while working. And it shifted what I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
It was your the one where you did your 10 things about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that was back in the day.
Yeah. There you go. There it is. Right.
It was back in the day.
Yeah. It was.
That was one of our. I don't know. I feel like that was in our first like 10 or so.
Yeah. I think y'all kept saying it. It was like 12 or 13th or something like that. One of those.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you've worked with like almost every sports team besides was it the Mavericks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Besides the Mavericks. No. Mm-hmm. Hey. Come on, Mavericks. What's going on?
Yeah, holler at your girl.
Yeah, what's going on? Luca, is that on you? But all the Mavericks, and then you had like, was it a fishing show?
Yeah.
Do you still do the fishing show?
I do.
Do you?
I think we're in the off season right now, but we'll be back in a couple of months. But yeah, I've been doing the fishing show for, I don't know, 8 to 9 years, something like that.
What do you do on that?
So the fishing show is... It looks like I'm a much bigger part of it than I am because everything that we do on that is green screen.
Okay.
But I'm just basically reading a script and telling people what the weather is going to be like for the big Memorial Day fishing trip. And just kind of doing like the in-studio stuff where I'm taking it from the host and I'm tossing it out to the fisherman on the boat, who's giving his report of what he caught today, that kind of thing. I mean, but it's funny because the fishing show has become like a bit of a punchline even on the ticket and stuff, but it's like that thing pulls in a lot of ratings and people are hardcore with their fishing and all of that. And it has a really good audience and it's stuck around for a long time. So that's just something that I've kind of consistently done throughout the course of the time when I was doing like what feels like a zillion other things.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool that one's been there through it all.
Are you like, do you have interest in fishing? Like, do you fish? Did you grow up fishing?
Well, I kind of, but I didn't get that show because of any sort of fishing connection, but I do like fishing.
Okay.
And if someone's going out on a fishing trip, I'm going to hop on board. No pun intended.
There you go.
My brother is very into fishing. He has a house down in Port Aransas, and he's always out on his boat. He does deep sea fishing, all of that. And then my husband is from Canada. He's from Vancouver Island, and so there's a lot of fishing there, salmon fishing. So every time we go up to Canada, I take part in that, but no, I'm not like, hardcore fisher person, like planning my next fishing escapade and researching where XYZ fish lives and nothing like that.
Because I was telling someone at work the other day, I was like, I don't think I really know how to fish. And they were like, they're like, there's not really anything to it. They're like, what do you mean you don't know how to fish? I was like, I know how to like cast a reel and like bring it in.
Right.
I was like, put bait on there. I was like, but I don't think I've ever had to string put the fishing line on like a brand new fishing pole. I've never had to like set that up. And we tried to take
that's hard.
Yeah, we tried to take our daughters fishing because they were doing this like event in our neighborhood, and so we got them like little small fishing poles, and like I got me one too, and I was like, I don't know how to put this together, and so we just didn't do it. Like we went to it.
Is that one of those things like as a dad you feel like you're just supposed to be able to do? You're like, oh yeah, I got this. Like y'all just come back in a few minutes and we'll be all ready to go. And you're like, holy shit, what am I doing?
And I was cussing in my garage. I was like, can't do this.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's not many things that can be worse to get tangled than fishing line. That sucks if that gets all tangled up. It's very hard. It hurts your fingers and it could cut you. So no, I don't do any of the hard stuff when I go fishing. I have somebody that is very much more well versed in that. Usually take over. You have this career in sports media. Were you a big sports fan growing up? Yeah, I was. I always was. It's funny because I don't have. I have an older brother, and then my dad, growing up, was a big tennis guy. Like he played tennis at Baylor and played growing, into his adulthood and played in tournaments and all of that. But as far as like sitting and hardcore watching sports, the only person I can really attribute it to in my family is my grandmother.
Okay.
Which is just kind of fun and awesome.
Yeah.
That was just our thing. So growing up, like she'd always have the Ranger games on or the Cowboys games. And my mom was into it too, I think because of her. But going over to her house, like that's where I have memories, like sitting by the radio, listening to the Rangers when they were like winning division titles and going far into the playoffs and all of that. The Juan Gonzalez, Pudge Rodriguez, like
the mid-90s teams.
Yeah. And then when the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, like that was... when I was younger, living in Dallas, I eventually moved to Austin.
Okay.
And then moved back now. But most of my memories watching sports were with my grandmother, which is awesome. And up until the day that like she passed away, we had a little area in her house and we called it Nanny's Sports Bar and Grill. And we had a little sign and like we were just big dorks and we'd all put on our shirts. We watched all the Mavs playoff games there, the Rangers playoff games. It's just, I have a lot of fun memories, and I feel like she's the one that I attribute my love of sports to the most, which is just kind of random.
Yeah. Was she alive when they made it to the World Series?
Yeah, she was, and I watched over there with her. Like, I've got a picture of her, like, doing the claw and antlers. And, like, my uncle went to Walmart at, midnight and got us all T-shirts, whenever they'd win a series.
Yeah.
And so I have some wonderful memories watching Rangers with her, especially for whatever reason. Rangers is what stands out the most.
I feel like, did Grandma really like Ron Washington? I feel like Grandma's probably like, if you like,
that's probably a safe assumption. Yeah. I feel like she did like Ron Washington. And now his era was when she was getting a little bit older, so she didn't, she knew she liked him, but she probably couldn't tell you like,
anything about
him.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, who doesn't like Ron Washington?
You have to be an idiot to not like Ron Washington. He like changed.
He's good people.
Yeah, I wish Ron Ron's probably one of the coolest Rangers of all time.
Yeah.
So, did you play sports in high school or growing up, or just watch sports with Grandma?
I did. I was like a little bit above average in everything, but not like good.
Okay,
that's how I explain like pretty much anything in my life. Honestly.
Yeah. I wanted to start a whole thing like telling people just to be average. Like, your goal in life should just get by. Just do enough to show up. No one will bother you at all. Just be average, get by. That should be everyone's goal. Not everyone's goal in life, but most people. If
you start at average and then you overachieve, you're only going up from there.
No one really expects much from you. There's no pressure on you. You don't have like bosses hounding you because you're average. But then no one's like, oh, you let me down because you're supposed to be great. You're like,
I'm right where I need to be.
I'm just that guy. I'm average.
Right there. I was the captain of the B team, if that tells you. Like, I was
Yes.
the best of the worst.
Yes, I understand that. I was
Yeah.
this.
But then I got to be the captain.
I was
Like,
the leading
you don't have
scorer,
to tell
7th grade
everyone.
B team basketball
There
team.
you go. There's nothing wrong with the B
No,
team.
not at all. And my coaches told me, they were like, there was 2 of us. They were like, hey, to me and one of my other friends, like, you can be on the A team basketball team and probably only play
Be
a
a
couple
bench
minutes.
warmer on the A team, or be the
Or
captain
you
of
can
the B team.
start and probably be the leading scorer on the B team. Which one do you want? I said, give me that B team. Give me that limelight.
Right, yeah.
My other friend was like, I want to be on the A team. I was like, all right, dude, have fun. You're never going to play.
It was a little embarrassing, like being on the B team. It was no one came to watch your games. They'd all go watch the A team games, and they'd leave and be like, wait, stick around. I'm just getting going here.
Well, and like my dad could only come to like 1 or 2 basketball games because I started like at 4:30. Or
Yeah.
you know, like,
Right.
it's like
There
so
was
early.
those awkward times. And it's funny now, like being a parent, I'm like, I'd still be proud of my kids if they were on the B team, but it'd be cooler if they were on the A team.
For sure.
So that's what we're going for in my house.
Yeah, no B team, no more.
Even though I was a B teamer.
Just don't tell them. Don't be like mom.
Right.
You don't want to be on the B. How many kids do you have?
2.
2? What ages are they?
My son is 6.5, and my daughter Anna is 3.5.
Okay, so 2-year difference. I have an 8 and a 4.
Yeah.
2 girls.
Aw.
And that, I think the same sex thing is interesting. Because
Yeah.
they're like best friends for a moment,
Yeah,
and then
they're
biggest
frenemies.
enemies every other.
Well, I mean, mine are opposite sex, and they're like that too.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've heard
And
that's
they
what
might
it
just
is.
be sibling thing.
Yeah, maybe it is. I was like best friends with my sister, so I don't really. This is very foreign
I
to
have
me.
an older brother, and we were and are still good friends too. And my kids are good friends, but they're just entering a new phase where they're doing this arguing thing back and forth and tattletaling.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah,
Every
tattletelling.
moment is like, well, they looked at me. Okay,
Yeah,
let her look at you then.
Right. Like, don't come tell me that. Y'all
Yeah.
just figure it out. I know you're 3.
Yeah.
But figure it out.
Well, my oldest I wouldn't use the word. She like doesn't stick up for herself to the younger one. I'm like,
Yeah.
just leave the room. It's
Right.
that simple.
Right.
Like she's like, well, she's bothering me. Okay, well, we have other rooms in our house. You can go there. Just
Do
run
they
away.
fight over space on the couch? Because that's the one that's like driving me insane
Yes.
lately. They sit on the couch together, and like my daughter, the younger one, she's giant. She'll like sprawl out across the couch and leave no room for my son, and then he like starts crying because I'm like, stay on your squares. You each have a square on the couch, and now don't cross the line. And it's funny because my brother and I had that situation too. We used to draw a line because sometimes times were tough and we'd have to share like a blow up bed. I don't know. And he'd draw a line down the middle of the bed, and he would literally like whack me if I crossed the line in my sleep. And now my kids are doing the same shit. Can I cuss? Sorry.
Yeah, you can cuss all you want.
My kids are doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh dear.
No, they'll fight over space on the couch, but also still want to sit next to each other.
Exactly.
I'm like, well, just go on the opposite
Right.
ends
There's a
if you
whole
want
other
to.
couch. There's
Yeah.
like 4 other rooms.
Do whatever
They're
you need to do.
gluttons for punishment.
We have, or like they do that with blankets too.
Yeah.
Where there's always 13 blankets in my living room.
Mine do that with blankets.
Constant blanket. And I'm
want
like,
the
just
same blanket.
grab the other blanket.
Right.
Not only do we have the more extra blankets, we have 2 of the same of almost everything.
Nothing
because
that
you
kids
guys
do makes any
No,
sense.
why are you fighting over this?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
That's what I was like. Did y'all have to do the whole like COVID thing where everyone was home 24/7?
We did. I'm trying to remember because this most recent COVID surge, somehow we've, knock on wood, like managed. Nobody's gotten it in my home. But a year ago, Christmas time is when I got it. And that's when they were like trying to figure out how to handle everything and shutting down the schools. And my husband was working from home. That's when I was working from the ticket, and I was even working from home for like a month upstairs doing radio. And my husband was home. The kids were home. And so it's like, okay, don't mind me upstairs for 5 hours doing radio. Can y'all just try to keep it down? And he's like, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
Kids keeping it down for 5 hours. Like that was not a good time.
No.
Because it's hard enough to just say, watch the kids for 5 hours, let alone like
Make them be quiet.
right. And then you've got like Dan McDowell or someone like that is ready to pounce anytime they hear a little kid noise or something funny that they can make fun of me about. So yeah, that part was not fun. I'm glad that people have kind of learned that you don't all have to like lock yourself inside to survive this thing forever.
That was an interesting. That in my house was the same thing. My wife and I both worked from home. Both kids were home. The oldest one was in school, so we were doing like the virtual school thing. The youngest one was so bored out of her mind because we didn't have time to give her any attention because we were trying to work, teach, and
it's just
live.
Been so hard.
Yeah, it was
on
nuts.
so many people.
It's
hard on the mom. It's hard on the kid. It's hard on the dad. It's hard on the employer. It's hard on everybody. It's just a mess.
I had so many like Zoom meetings that I was running with a kid in my lap, just like don't mind me. Or I would leave the house and bring one of the kids with me, and I'd drive around and run a meeting while driving.
Well, and I think maybe one cool thing that came out of it all is that people are like very much more accepting of all of that now. And I think it's kind of cool to see what people have going on at home. Yeah. Like you get to know them a little bit better. And, you know, I just had a call today because people aren't trapped inside anymore, but people are still Zooming a lot more, right? Like Zoom is the thing now. So it's like, well, let's not do a conference call. Let's do a Zoom. So you see someone's face. And I was on a call today, you know, trying to pimp out the mom game pod like I do now. And my dog and my cat started just going at it. So it's like, not like that.
I got you.
That would be weird.
That would be super weird.
Isn't that okay? That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that would be.
Like they know better than to do that.
It is weird how they know they can't do that.
That's
like,
what I'm
how
saying.
come that doesn't ever happen?
Like a dog sees a dog and it's like, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this.
A dog sees anything.
Yes.
Like a dog sees their bed.
True.
They see a human leg.
Yeah.
They see the side of a sofa. Anything
humpable.
But not a cat. They're just like, no thanks.
Like, no kidding. Like, this thing's just a big bitch. Like, I'm just going to fight you.
How do you think that makes that cat feel? Like, if you think the cat
cat doesn't want it.
No, but at the same time,
doesn't want it.
The cat might not want it, and maybe, but the same thing. They probably still are. Their feelings have to get hurt.
Like
it's
a little bit offended.
Oh, so
like why would you hump this inanimate object?
Yeah. Oh, so that bed.
At me? Like,
that bed that is
hot.
raggedy and kind of smells a little bit. It's all day, every day, and you don't even want to say what's up.
You know, you do have a point. Like, that would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying I want it.
I was the cat, but at least try.
Yeah, it's kind of like over the top, like homophobic straight dudes who are like, but does he want me still? Like, you know, like what? Like, well, what? Why are you just making?
Why does it matter?
Yeah. He thinks I'm cute though, right?
That's funny. Well, both mine are girls too, so maybe
that's probably what it is.
That would be extra weird. But no, they were not going at it like that. Back to that story.
Okay.
They were going at it like they just fight like incessantly. They are not becoming friends yet, and it's driving me insane. So I'm on a call, and it's just like, you know, all these noises in the background. I'm like, please excuse me. I know this is a work thing, and we just met, but I have crying, screaming animals in the background.
Kids
but
are
it's just
around.
like I said, it's kind of cool because it's now, I think, just a little bit more accepted.
Yeah, people understand it because everyone has had some kind of Zoom craziness thing happen for sure. I can't. If I have to do another Zoom meeting, I'll quit my job.
Oh,
but
yeah?
No, I've done because I run meetings. And I do multiple a day, but I'm kind of hybrid back in the office now. Like a couple of weeks ago, someone in my family got COVID, so we all stayed home. And I sent an email and I was like, "There's no meetings this week because I'm not getting back on Zoom." Like, it's not happening because I did like 500 of them.
Wow!
Like, I added them up.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because I do 8 or 9 a week.
That's a lot.
So I was like,
sounds
no,
like a beatdown.
Never getting on Zoom again. So okay, played sports a little bit growing up in high school. What else did you do in high school? Like, what got you into, like, wanting to... Oh, you know what? That's what I want to talk about.
What?
The child actor thing.
Yeah.
Because I have a degree in theater.
Oh, nice.
So, I didn't do commercials until I was an adult.
Okay.
But what age were you when you started doing your acting and...
I'd say I peaked when I was about 12.
Okay. Was it here?
No.
Was it here and Austin?
Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Austin. I moved to Austin when I was 8, 9, or something like that. I never know. And it was when I lived in Austin. And for some reason, I don't know, I just saw kids on TV and I think I just asked my mom. I was like, what's this all about? This looks fun. I want to be on TV, you know? And she was like, awesome enough, whether it was that or a sport or saying I wanted to go to college at Pepperdine, which I said, like, what the hell was, they couldn't, that's just a lot of money, right?
Is that where you went to Pepperdine?
No,
I
didn't. I'm just saying, like, I used to just throw shit out there and, like, no matter what I said.
We'll make it happen.
My mom was awesome in that, like, she's like, we'll figure it out. You know, if you want to do something, I don't want to be a barrier to that. I'm going to try to support you, whatever it is. And she's still doing that. Like, she's supporting, she barely knows what a podcast is. And she's like wearing
your logo
like,
and
moms
stuff.
are awesome.
Yeah, moms rock.
And I hope to be the same way. But but yeah, I mentioned something to her, and so she helped me like find acting classes, and I did some acting classes for a couple of years, and then got an agent. Okay. Had headshots made and all of that, and I was in. It's funny because I did all the right things, and we kind of like paid money to make it look official, but most of the things that I got were kind of like just random on my own. Like I did that AOL commercial, which was a national commercial, but that was because I was out at dinner with some of my friends, and they were like having a random like audition. Like I swear they were like set up outside of the Hula Hut down in Austin, and my friends and I were like, let's go see what this is all about, and then we somehow got picked for it. So I was trying to like go the proper channels, but I kind of just looked into the things that I did.
You said it was a national commercial? Was it one that you got residuals on? Do you remember?
I think it was like a big chunk up front, and I don't know. They probably like just scammed us out of a bunch of money, and like they're like, here, 12-year-olds, sign off on this. I'm like, okay.
Because I always wonder, like like on commercials that there's residuals. There's some commercials that have played for like 15 years that come out like every Christmas, and I'm like, is that little kid still getting a check?
I think that the big companies find a way out of all of that.
I don't know if it's SAG, and it's because I did a national commercial the like couple months after I graduated college, and I got paid on that for like 2 years.
Oh, nice.
I never saw it one time.
Oh, really?
So it was playing somewhere.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Like anything you do, you never really.
I've like seen like one thing that I've done. In all the years.
Same.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to them, but I see all these other commercials. I see the ones that I auditioned for that I didn't get.
Oh my gosh, auditioning for commercials is like one of the most awkward things.
Yeah. Well, it's not acting. It's really weird. And I still have my agent, and I go on a few things every now and then, but now everything's at home where they send it to you, and so my wife has had to like record some of these auditions, and I don't think she wants to be married to me anymore.
Well, they probably do. They want to pick you for the jobs. She doesn't even want to be married to you after recording. I don't know what that says about
they're so lame.
Your chances.
They're so lame. Like one of them was like I had to do this like dancing thing where it was because they're so terrible.
They're so terrible, and I kind of like retired. I mean, even as recently as like 2 or 3 years ago, I still had an agent here too, and it was like, okay, I'll just put my name in the hat and maybe pop in for some of these auditions, and I never got anything, and it was always just like humiliating. Like there's like 3 like dudes sitting there watching you, and I remember I did one not long ago, and it was like, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember what product it was for, but it was like you had to lay on the couch and pretend like you were itchy from bugs. And like, so I was like laying there, like pretending like there were mosquitoes like biting me. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? There's just like these people, they're like, and they don't even budge a smile, they're like, do it again, but pretend like, it's a little bit more itchy down by your knee. It's just like, what in the world?
I don't believe that. Can you do that another take of that?
Yeah.
No.
And then they have it all on tape, and it's like, what are you saying about me?
Go home.
Can I just go? It didn't go anywhere.
My frustration, and this is a dumb thing to be frustrated about, but like everything's digital, right?
Yeah.
Why do I need to bring you a headshot?
Yeah.
Like everything is digital. Why do you need 2 copies of my headshot for every audition? The same casting director that calls me in 4 times a month. You have 26 of them at this point.
And then if you don't have it, it's like very frowned upon.
You didn't,
like you
didn't bring your headshot?
Care. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I forgot it.
It was all just too much.
Like it's printed off right there on the wall. I see my face right there.
Right.
It's like you know what I look like at this point. I'm here all the time.
Well, it sounds like you're a little more like hardcore into it than I ever was.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. That's
not
good.
so
I mean,
much.
if you get like 1 or 2 jobs, it's good money.
Yeah. If you get like, and I usually book 2 or 3 jobs a year.
Okay, that's good.
Or like and it's just a little extra spending money basically at this point
for
in
sure.
life.
And it's like usually pretty simple.
Yeah, you just kind of show up.
Yeah,
you just kind of sit there.
Yeah,
good
for you.
And you eat.
Yeah,
just hang out, meet people. So child actor.
Yeah,
then you
not
get,
really, but kind of.
Big time child actor. Did you only do commercials, or did you go out for anything else? Because I think you're close to my. What year did you graduate high school?
2003.
Okay, I'm 04. So we're in the same. Mm-hmm. I think there was a lot of like movies that were shot in Austin at that time frame.
Yeah,
like kid movies too. Like right, like wasn't like the Big Green.
I was in the Big Green, but but I was like an extra.
Oh, okay.
I was an extra like in the stands. I mean, it came on I saw it at my house like a year ago, and I found myself and like paused it. But it's like you've gotta. I mean, I was not in the big green. I was, but I wasn't.
Yeah, I understand.
But I did audition. I remember I auditioned for Great Expectations. I think it was like a remake or something, and I was like auditioning to be Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter.
Okay.
I don't know if that's all right. I think that's right. And so I remember that one being really cool, and I got really excited about it. I think I got a call back, but I didn't get it. But yeah, there were a lot of cool movies. I mean, there still are. Austin's a good place for all of that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then I did. What was the like Chuck Norris?
Oh, Walker, Texas Ranger?
Yes! I auditioned. I didn't get that
no,
either.
Oh, that'd be so great if you got that.
Yeah. I auditioned for that. I wanted that one bad, and I didn't get it. I have a long list of things that I didn't get.
Yeah.
But
I think most people that have done acting have more list of
sure.
things they didn't get. Like, there was a couple of years ago where I got like 2 callbacks for this one commercial. Mm-hmm. And then I always get right of first refusal, or I'm always put on hold. Me and my wife always make fun of it. It's like, you're like the bridesmaid, but never the bride. Like every single time, like it's like multiple times I'll get like, oh, hold this date. They're trying to decide between you and another person. And then they always go with the other person. But anyway, so we're sitting there watching the Super Bowl, and like we're just watching the Super Bowl, and commercials come on, and I go, that's that commercial. I didn't know it was a Super Bowl commercial. And I was just,
man.
and like, she's like, well, that's really cool, that, or whatever. I was telling people about it. I was like, I'm bummed.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine just hanging out watching the Super Bowl, which is the commercial
for sure.
thing, and then the commercial you did was on it?
Yeah.
So that one sucked. That one
well,
hurt.
at least you were close. First runner up.
Yeah, being average.
Captain of the B team.
Yeah, just captain of the B team, lead scorer of the B team.
For sure.
So you go from high school. Where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Missouri.
Oh, you're the second Mizzou alum that's been on this podcast.
Who's the other?
Shippy. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I know who he is, and I don't know that we've ever met, and I don't think I knew that he was a Mizzou person.
Yeah, he's a little bit younger.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, okay,
younger.
cool.
What years were you at? Who was the quarterback? Was Chase Daniel the quarterback while
He
you were there?
was. Yeah. Brad Smith was
right before him, right?
Before. So like when I went to tour it was Brad Smith, and then maybe my freshman year. But then yeah, the big chunk of it was Chase Daniel.
Yeah, I went to OU at that same time.
Oh, okay.
So were you at there the year that Missouri got to number 1? Were you still in school there, or had you already
got
graduated?
to number 1?
They were ranked number 1 in football.
I don't remember that.
No, Chase Daniel like almost won the Heisman.
I remember when they were really good, but I guess
so
I
they
never
got ranked number 1. They only had 2 losses that year, both to OU.
Okay.
No big deal.
Okay. No, I remember that. I remember.
Were you
all
in
of
like
that.
the sports journalism department at Mizzou or whatever?
So at Mizzou, you basically enter into the journalism school, and then once you get into your junior and senior year, you can like specialize. And so that's when I went into sports broadcasting, and I got to do like my senior year, I was actually doing sportscasts, granted like 5 a.m. sportscasts at KUMU, which was the NBC affiliate there. So you're the NBC station for the city, which was like I don't remember what 120 market, whatever. It wasn't like crazy small, but it was sort of decent. They had students as like all of the reporters and the anchors, and then they'd have like a few paid anchors that anchored the big, 10 o'clock news or whatever.
Okay.
So it was a cool like process and like really cheap labor for them.
That's of course, taking advantage of the students.
But you graduate and you're like, I have this experience, in a pretty decent sized market, and I have a tape and all of that. So I got to do all of that stuff. You start as a news reporter, and then you can become sports reporter, sports anchor. And then I also did, just because I knew I wanted to work in sports, and if it wasn't TV, I wanted to kind of explore other things. I worked for, I was like a student SID.
What's that?
The SID is like a
sports
information director. So doing like PR kind of stuff for the men's basketball team. I did that for a season too. So I got to be kind of in with the men's basketball team, and I did as much as I could, I guess, while I was there in the sports world. It was a really good place to go.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Missouri's a good journalism school, right?
Yes.
It's like what it's kind of known for. Or?
Yeah, that's what it's known for.
Is that why you went there?
That's why I went there. Yeah,
Okay.
And most of the people that go there from out of state are there for journalism school, and actually quite a few people from Texas.
What was it like? Was that a culture shock to go to Missouri from Austin? Mm-hmm. It was a big difference.
Yes, it was a very big difference. Mostly the weather. I remember like going the first day it snowed, crying on my way to class because I wasn't dressed properly and I didn't know how to walk. I was like falling down on the slick ice. It's like, what am I doing here? Like, why did I come to this place in the middle of the country where I barely know anybody and I can't even walk to class without like falling on my ass?
Were the winters terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah, and same in Oklahoma, which I was so confused by because it's only 2.5 hours away from Dallas.
Right.
It was like a whole different
Just a lot
ballgame.
worse.
The first semester that I was at OU, they had this thing called Arctic Blast 2006. They talked
dear.
about it on the news. I don't know.
Oh, man.
It was very cheesy. And it was like Arctic Blast 2006.
Okay.
Like, what's about to? And I was like, okay, I'm sure it's Arctic Blast. And the next day, we couldn't even open our door without like snow coming into our living room.
It's bizarre. And
It
when
was
you're in college,
nuts.
like you don't know how to handle any of that.
Heck no. And they weren't canceling class.
Yeah.
I'm sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
I fell on my back like 3 times.
And then looking back, it's like, did any of that matter? Like, I could have definitely stayed home from that one class and like everything would have been fine.
I did not need to go to my nutrition class.
Yeah. Or I had a intimate relationships. That was a class.
What was that? what?
It was a class. I remember I was like trying to sign up for the easiest things that I could find. And I actually had my boyfriend from high school went to Mizzou with me.
Okay.
And we did the intimate relationships class together. I think we got C's.
Yeah.
We broke up. Like,
Yeah, it didn't work out. Like,
it didn't work
it
out.
told some stuff
It was
about
just
y'all's
like-
relationship.
yeah,
You're like,
it's
maybe we
like,
should not be. You know how we both
like,
got
you
a
guys
C?
are just more of a relationship.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Not intimate.
Yeah, yeah, like,
we
yeah.
both got C's in this class.
We were just
It's
kind of
time to
buddies.
call- yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it quits on this.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of those college courses are pretty random.
Yeah, I took like an African music class.
Oh.
It was so stupid. We like
Okay.
everything's like we had to do this one. Our test was just like this teacher would play a CD and we'd have to say what song it was and what instruments it were and everything like that. I was like, I can't tell the difference of it's all the same thing.
Right.
Like, why am I?
And kind of like lazy by the teacher. It seems like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the CD and tell me about it.
And it was like it wasn't like a required class, but it was one of those like, you know, you have to take so many hours of certain things.
Yeah.
And that was like one of those. I had to take like a upper level arts class. It's like, I have a degree in theater. Isn't
I
that
know.
enough art stuff?
Why did we
am I
have to do all of that?
taking this?
The language was the one that killed me because I took sign language in high school.
Okay.
And it didn't transfer into college. Like, I didn't get any credit for it. But I still needed to do, I think, like 2 years of a language at Mizzou, and I ended up picking Spanish. And I went in there with people that had taken like 2 or so years in high school but didn't have enough to like place out of it.
Yeah.
So it was like a review, and then I was like brand new trying to do sign language in the Spanish class and just didn't know what I was doing, and I still have bad memories of all of that.
My roommate took Choctaw for his foreign language.
Wow. I'm sure that's gotten him really far in life.
We'd be in our kitchen. We'd be in our kitchen. I'd be like trying to do stuff, and I'd hear him be like, Choctaw. And I'm like, what is happening? And I was like, oh yeah, you're studying Choctaw.
Oh yeah, at OU.
Yeah, and it was such a blow off class too. Like, I think for his final, he had to make like a headdress, and I was like, your professor is just effing with you guys.
Oh, how funny.
This is real stuff. Why are you doing
I have
this?
never heard of that being a language that you can study in college, but
neither.
I'm sure there's some people that appreciate it.
And I guess, and have put on their resume, and
Right.
gone far with it.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
After Mizzou, you came back here.
Yes. I came back here. So I interned at Fox Sports Southwest when I was going into my senior year of college.
Okay, like in the summertime, or
Yeah, in the summertime. And I got to cover Rangers games. That was like my first pro sports experience, I guess, getting out there into the real world. And then kept in touch with one of the producers there who told me about an opening with the Cowboys. So I interviewed for that job while I was a senior in college to be the reporter for the Cowboys TV department.
okay,
And got that job and moved here and immediately started right after I graduated, moved to Dallas and worked for the Cowboys for what turned out to be like 7 months.
and you said
but it was really cool.
and that was 2007, right?
Uh-huh.
So that was a good year.
That was a good year. That was 13-3.
13-3,
Yep.
lost to the
Giants. And
Shouldn't have lost to the Giants.
No,
Much
yeah.
better team. But then the Giants won the Super Bowl, so I guess
Right.
that's okay.
Right.
What was
we'll
it
see
like?
if that happens this year with the 49ers.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I'm so Cowboys break my heart.
I know. Sorry.
I mean, it's just so frustrating.
They broke my heart then.
I know.
They break my heart. I mean,
I don't even get mad anymore. Like now it's just like I'm just numb to it. Used to, 06 when Romo fumbled the snap against the Seahawks in the playoffs, I freaked out. Like, I mean, like if there was a video, I was the only one at home, so luckily no one saw this.
Yeah.
But I was literally snapping the remote to myself and being like, and then placing it down, like, it's hard. And I did it like 150 times. I was like, I think I'm having a nervous breakdown.
Like, what is this going on with my body? What is happening?
Like, who am I talking to?
And that's
There's
when
no
you
one
need to
with
take
me.
a step back. Because I will say, when it comes to the Cowboys, and I don't want to talk too much about the Cowboys, but one thing that I'm preaching these days, if you can, detach. Get out now. If you're listening and you're still obsessed, get out now. Just get out. After I worked there, I kind of looked at the team with a total different lens, if you will, because I had been there behind the scenes and saw the way things operated and how they prioritized only the athletes and, the coaches and whatever. I'm not going to like sit here and try to bash the way they run things, but you just look at things differently when you work for a team. And I've done that now for multiple teams. I'm like, damn it, I need a new, like, all these teams are getting ruined for me because now, like, I've worked there and I don't work there anymore. And it's just like the shine is off a little bit.
You need to work for your favorite team's rivals.
There you go.
That way you can be like,
so
I knew I hated them for a reason.
Yes, I'll work there. Like, I usually average like 1 to 3 years and then somehow like I get fired or they like don't call me back. Like, so I can do that. I can put in some time with like the football team.
Yeah, the football team. Now the
Eagles,
49ers, the Eagles.
49ers, yeah.
The Spurs.
Yeah. I know. I will always hate them.
You know what's weird? You said that like with a lot of like a lot of hurt in your voice. You paused, like there was a pregnant pause, and you go, "Yeah, I'll always hate them."
It's true. That was weird. I think I was thinking through quickly, like how it hurts. It makes me sad because my brother's a big Spurs fan.
Oh no, why?
Because growing up in Austin, like, and that's one of the problems with Austin and why I couldn't live there anymore. And I'll maybe someday I'll live there again, but like they don't care. They don't care very much about sports there.
No,
like they don't. Like I remember going back to visit and staying with my parents, and the Mavs would be in the playoffs, and I'd be like, "All right, let's go to the restaurant and watch the Mavs game." Like, call my high school friends, like, "Hey, y'all, you want to go?" And they're like, "Excuse me,
what's the Mavs?
What's the Mavs?" Like, all we care about is going to Longhorn games and tailgating, and not even watching the game,
and not even good tailgating. Have you ever been to a UT game?
Yes,
I went to one UT game. Like my last semester of in college, and I went with some friends from high school, and I was like, "This tailgate sucks." I was like, I show up like 10 minutes before the game.
There's a lot of like corporate tailgating. It's just like not. I
was like, we start
they don't
tailgating
get too
like 10,
down and dirty.
Yeah, like we started tailgating like 10 a.m. Why? It's 30 minutes before the game. We're just now getting here.
Right.
Like, what's what we do? And then we just kind of walk after the game to 6th Street, and I'm like, cool. This is some tailgating. Get out of here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love Austin, but yeah, it was the whole lack of like. I feel like just so much of Dallas is like a sports culture, and it's like going to games and talking about the games and having games on, and you see people in jerseys everywhere, and in Austin it's just not. And I haven't lived in Austin since I graduated high school. That's a lot of the reason why.
I feel like the sports culture though in Dallas is a little bit different now than it was like when I was growing up. I mean, because there's so many transplants here.
That's true.
Because I remember Mavs and Heat, the first go around, 06, and I was working, and the day after the Heat won the finals, I saw someone wearing a Dwayne Wade jersey in Dallas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and it's just like
you're right. I mean, there's a lot of like more kind of fair weather fan people, and yes, a lot of transplants. Like if you go to a Stars game and they're playing the Red Wings or the Blackhawks, it's like, why are there so many Blackhawks fans here? Like. That used to drive me insane. But then you talk to them and they're like, well, I'm from Chicago. I'm like, well, okay. I can't be mad
40.
at you. Like, if you're actually from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with all of that being said, though, like Dallas is still way better than Austin when it comes to the sports world.
And what? Because they don't have teams. So then your poor brother is with the Spurs. That really hurt your feelings.
That really hurt. And
ago.
That's why I got all weird and emotional when I said that. Because I was thinking about my brother and how it still hurts my feelings.
Yeah. Because I'm sure that, I mean, there's some good playoff series that you guys had to be on opposite ends.
Oh yeah. Well, and they were so good for a really long
So
time.
freaking
and
good.
they had, I hated them as a whole, but like they had a lot of really likable guys.
Well, then I got to the point that I actually started to respect them. Like I was like, I hate you so much, but how are you so good for 20 years?
right,
Kind of like the
just
Patriots.
consistently, like to where they were boring.
Yeah.
Like where you didn't even care. You were like, oh, the Spurs are gonna win.
Yeah.
Just like the Patriots, you just hate them because they I don't know. I feel like you don't hear about them too much because they are just consistently winning.
I know, and they're old and boring looking.
Yes.
There's nothing flashy.
Right.
Tim Duncan's just hitting 10-foot bank shots. Like no one dunks
Like
on their
like it's
team.
nothing,
Yeah.
and it's just like goes on with his life. Tony
Yeah.
Parker had a little bit more to him.
Yeah, he had a
A
little
little pizzazz.
Same with Ginobili.
little
I don't know.
feisty.
We got into like a Spurs
I don't know.
podcast.
This is weird.
So after you go Mavericks,
I just snorted. I'm sorry.
after you go Mavericks, or no, not Mavericks. After you go Cowboys, where did you go after that?
Okay, so I did that for just a little bit, and I think that's about
Was that TV or their radio broadcast?
TV.
TV. So what was that on? Like Channel 11?
Why do you say it like that? You're
No, I'm asking. I'm
you're
trying
so
to.
unimpressed.
No, I'm not. That's not where I was trying to come from.
Was it Channel 11
I was-
or
no, I
Channel
was-
15?
No,
or
I
was
was.
it 32? Like some number.
I was trying to figure out what the I know they have like a radio. Like I was thinking in my
Yeah,
head, like
yeah,
how
no,
it used to be on
just-
KVIL, right? And I was trying to think. I was like, well, what was the Cowboys?
You're right. It was 11.
Okay, so I was right. Well, Bill Jones and those guys, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
With Bill Jones and those guys.
What was it? Channel 11? Like, let me
There you
redeem
go.
myself.
Put some respect on
Yeah.
Bill Jones's name.
He's a Sooner, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, I think
that
so.
sounds
Yeah.
right. Or
All right.
his kids at least go
Something
there.
like
Daughter
that.
goes
Yeah.
there.
So I'm Bill. I'm sorry. Channel 11 rocks. You rock.
Yes.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. They had like the Cowboys produced a lot of the content for Channel 11. They were the CBS affiliate, or they were affiliate of the Cowboys on whatever. So yeah, we produced a bunch, like I don't know, multiple shows a week that would air on CBS, and we had the Talking Cowboys show, which is
Okay.
still going strong on their website. It was me, Mickey Spagnola, and Nate Newton. We would do that in the mornings, every morning, and then I'd go like work on shows. I'd go into the locker room and hold the mic. Every once in a while, I'd ask questions, but usually I was just holding the mic, and then go in and edit and work on production and whatever else they needed. So it was really cool, and I got to know the team and some of the players and the coaches and all of that. And then, but it was just and they still, I think, do it this way where it's just like a seasonal job.
Yeah.
And then they like try to pull someone out of college the next time
Where they can
around.
low
Yes,
ball
exactly.
everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes.
I'm on to you.
Cheap
Channel
labor.
11.
Cheap labor. Because the Cowboys have no money.
Yeah, because they're not the richest franchise
Right.
in,
Exactly.
in the world.
Exactly.
But yeah, I know times are tough right now.
Yeah.
With all your
I'm so sorry,
you're
Jerry Jones.
printing money. Like you probably are making money from us saying the Cowboys.
They
on
are.
this, and
We should
I don't even
stop.
make any money, right? What was it like though? Okay. You've worked with all the teams but the Mavericks, okay?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Who is like your favorite player that you've covered that's not like someone that you would think like, oh, Dirk, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like deep
Yeah,
cut.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
deep cut favorite player.
Deep cut. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of like who stood out to me over the years. With the Dallas Stars, I mean, I got to know them the most. I loved like Vern Fiddler. He was somebody that you wouldn't, really think of, but he's just like a good dude, and he was really funny. And I think when you can find an athlete that is actually real funny and not
Yeah.
like athlete funny, it's really awesome, especially when you're doing TV and producing TV. And that's what I did with the Stars and creating that weekly show for them for so long. So it was like always like, okay, who can I come to give me something?
Yeah, to actually do something.
And yeah, he was one of the go-tos. He's a good dude. Tyler Sagan, I know it's a bigger name, but he's actually like one of my favorites, like really good person. And then outside of the Stars, when that one year I was with the Cowboys, it was cool because I was just out of college and I was like the exact same age as a lot of
As a
those
lot of
guys.
the players, yeah.
And I remember like having some really cool conversations with some of them, like Isaiah Stanback. Do you remember?
I know
him?
Isaiah Stanback
And
is.
he's now doing some TV work for them, which is cool. But I remember like hearing him talk about.
I have an Isaiah Stanback story.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
do
I
you
do.
know?
Okay.
He was a really cool dude.
So he was the quarterback
Uh-huh.
for Washington.
Uh-huh.
I think my first semester at OU,
Uh-huh.
and they played us in the non-conference schedule, so the beginning of the season. And my roommates were athletes at OU. So we had like different tickets that were kind of off from the student section. And so whatever reason though, they sat the OU athletes with the parents of the opposing team, and you were like 4 rows from the players.
Okay.
Right? And so they would get me in with them. They would go in there and they'd give me a ticket or whatever. And we were relentless to Isaiah Stanback.
Oh,
I mean, just
he's
giving
so
him,
nice,
just
though.
giving him all, like, just
Yeah.
talking so much trash. He was having a terrible game. The next series goes out there and he breaks off this amazing run, touchdown, like 40-yard highlight
that
reel,
on
right?
ya. Yeah.
Highlight reel. He comes back and the sideline doesn't even like dap up his team. He just looks right at me and points. And I was like, "Is that you? You're the man, all right? You're the man."
Did you apologize?
I was like, "All right, Isaiah, that's why I'm up here."
Good for him. Good for him. That's
And so then when he
awesome.
made the Cowboys, didn't he have like an awesome random kick return one year?
Yeah.
And that was like
because he
all
was
I-
returning kicks and he was receiver for them. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I remembered from it. I was
He
like,
was just fun to watch, like kind of
Yeah.
electric. Like you didn't know what he was going to do, but if he did, it was usually something really big and cool
Yeah.
and had a good time. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. A lot of the Cowboys guys were, I don't know. The Cowboys are,
they're rock
they're a different
stars.
breed. Yes, they're rock stars, and so they're
And,
sometimes we're like kind of a little bit more of on the a-hole side than like definitely like the Stars players.
Yeah.
And even the Rangers, like Tommy Hunter was fun. The Rangers pitcher that was
Yeah,
like real,
big game
you know,
Tommy
yeah,
Hunter.
yeah, he was fun. Michael Young was always, just like someone you could rely on to go get post game sound and a good dude and all of that. We had Ian Kinsler on the Mom Game not
I
that
saw
long
that. I
ago.
haven't listened to it, but I'm gonna listen to
He
it.
was awesome. I remember I liked Josh Hamilton. He was always like, I don't know. When you could get him to like open up a little bit,
Yeah.
like he was really like almost teddy bear nice, He's done some things. So maybe that's not the best term, but it was like
teddy bear with an edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those teddy bears.
He's that teddy bear from the Toy
bad-
Story.
bad bear.
He's the teddy bear from Toy Story. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? You know what I'm talking
Was
about?
he a bad guy? I'm trying to remember.
The
Toy
one
Story.
I'm going real dad on you right now. It's like Toy Story 3, I think.
Okay.
And he's like he's in charge. Do you know? Have you seen all the Toy Stories?
I didn't retain much of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I don't know the teddy bear.
All right.
I don't think.
So if you ever watch Toy Story 3, you'll know what I'm talking about, and
Okay.
you'll think back to this and you'll laugh about
Yeah.
it. About this is Josh Hamilton. So the Toy Story gang gets put in a donation box.
Oh.
And they go to a
The
daycare.
horror.
They go to a daycare and get donated into it, right? Well, the teddy bear is in charge of that daycare. He is like the bouncer of that day. Like he is the
Okay, he's
kingpin
running
of the
that
he's
thing.
running that
All
shit.
right.
He has a cane, a stick or whatever. So that's the job. You know what I mean? That's what you're talking about.
Okay. I'm trying to follow. I know. Well, I'm the one who threw out teddy bear for Josh Hamilton, and that was weird. So I do respect your teddy bear story.
Yeah, there you go. So that when you
I need
watch
to go
it,
watch
when your kids
TS3.
get back into Toy Story, if they ever have a Toy Story phase, we did for a while.
Yeah,
in
my
house.
son hasn't really. I think something about it scared him. He doesn't like the animals coming to life.
Yeah, I can understand. It's kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of stuffed animals in our house. So if he were to think that they were to come alive while he was asleep, like that would not be good.
Stuffed animals are out of control in my house. I mean,
I
we have
know.
hundreds of them.
I know.
Out of control. It's like, what do we need all these for?
I feel like everybody that comes into my house is obligated to tell me how many stuffed animals my daughter has.
I'll show you after this when we get
didn't
done
ask.
recording.
I
We
know.
took a picture of all of my daughter's stuffed animals with her around, with her sitting in the middle of them and them all around her. And I don't know how many there's, but I think it's like 150.
Nice.
At least it's out of control.
I did that last night with my
Did
puppy. With my puppy, though. I actually did. Let's see if I can show you this. Oh, it was really cute. She was in the stuffed animals. Oh, here it is. I literally did this yesterday.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I'm going to show you this later it's going to take a while for me to find it because it's from like 4
What's
or 5
wrong
years
with
ago.
us? Like,
It's a lot of stuffed animals. It's insane.
I know. It was so cute. It was just like she's kind of one of them, but she's not.
Yeah, there you go.
She's a dog.
So, okay, name of the podcast is called Back in the Day. I focus on like random stories from people's past, right? And I have like each season I have a different topic that I'm focusing on. This season I'm focused on dating. Do you know? Remember when your first date was?
Oh man. No. I mean, I remember like my first relationship when I like first had a boyfriend was 6th grade.
6th grade. Mm-hmm. And y'all didn't go on any dates. His mom didn't come pick you up.
That was a thing.
I know. I always never knew how to.
I'm sure
to
we
make that
did.
happen.
I mean, I remember like buying presents for each other, and my mom would help me like pick out buy the present because I didn't have money. So I'm sure we did do some sort of dates, and there were twins, the Harrelson twins. If they're listening, holler. And my friend, like, I dated one, and my friend dated the other.
Were they like? We had a group. We had a set of twins in my class, and they were like kind of like the bad boys. Were they? Were like the bad, like the bad, like
a little bit. I mean, but they were like they were cute. Like they were the kind of like cool, popular, like the twins. But do you ever wonder about twins, like? If they're popular because they're twins?
I think that's why they're
like
popular.
If they were just singles.
Oh, 100% wouldn't have been
You'd just
popular.
be somebody. You'd just be one of the other.
I think it's
just a dude.
You have two options as twins, I think, in a high school or middle school or whatever. I think you're either extremely popular or on the bottom. There's no in between. You're
right.
not just
you're
not
huge
average.
Dorks or
yeah. You're huge dorks where y'all are y'all's
what
only
if one's
friends.
cool and one's a huge dork?
I don't think
though?
that can happen.
It really doesn't seem like it
No,
does. They're
I'm
kind of
telling you, I'm thinking about all the twins that I grew up with. Your options were you were extremely popular or
Yep.
no one was friends with you except for your twin.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Oh, sorry.
That's so
Sorry,
sad.
twins. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your life will be okay.
Yeah, I did. I don't think it was I don't remember if I feel like I have some memory of going to the All for One concert in Austin. You remember All for One?
They're
With a 4?
Yes. What was their song? Their real popular song. I'm thinking an O-Town song, not their. All for One is.
Yeah, I don't know.
For some
reason,
their
I'm
song was
thinking
a country version of their song too. I'm kind of thinking of what is this all.
I'm thinking of like Boys to Men when I'm thinking of songs, so I don't even want to say the ones I'm thinking of because I think they're all Boys to Men.
Yeah, God, I can't think of what it was, but it was very popular. It was the hit song at all the middle school slow dance. Yes,
I swear.
Yeah, and there's a country version of it. Have you ever heard the country version of that?
Yes. Good work over there.
Thank you, Travis. It's very
I haven't
cheesy.
heard I Swear in so long.
Was that so? Y'all went, you and one of the twins. Did y'all go to the All for One together?
I
And
think
then the
so.
other twin and your friend go too?
I think so. Yeah, and that was also like my first concert.
All
so
for
first
One
concert, first boyfriend.
Man, what a night.
Checking all the
Yeah,
boxes.
what a night. My first concert was Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
My sister, that's what my sister had for her birthday. It was so awkward.
Nice.
There was like this girl, we were in the second to last row. This girl was crying in the back, like thinking that they were talking to her. It's like, they're not talking to you. They can't see you. We're
But if you're a girl that's watching the concert, yes, they are talking to you.
No, not
100%.
not
They're
at all.
singing to you, and you might just catch their eye and fall in love and
How did that 6th grade relationship
happily ever
end?
after.
Do you know?
Trying to think. I mean, it was like kind of. I mean,
Was it kind of serious?
I think we
a little
like
bit?
told each other we were in love. I don't know. For a couple of months, and then I think like at that point, because I'm trying to even remember like what people did before cell phones.
Yeah, I don't talk. Well, maybe
Like,
did you have your own line?
What was ghosting before ghosting was possible? Because that's what happened probably.
You
to
probably
that
didn't.
relationship.
I remember you would exchange notes.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you would write a note, like, in your English class, and then you drop it off to them, and you had to, like, reciprocate
It's really
or
sad
whatever.
that kids don't have to do notes anymore.
I know. Notes were legit.
Notes were legit.
They could do so
I'd
much.
get in trouble in classes for
Me
not paying
too.
attention and just sitting there writing notes.
you learn
Whether
how
it
to
was to a
fold them
boy
correctly?
yeah. And then there was that one where you could fold it and there were 4 sides and it was like, okay, pick a color, red, R-E-D. And
Yeah.
then you pick a D. And then it'd tell you some sort of like
Or MASH.
cool
Did you ever play
factoid about
MASH?
yourself. Yes, MASH.
Yeah.
I remember MASH.
That game, and then
It'd tell you who you were going to marry.
yeah, and if you're
you
gonna
know.
live in an apartment, a shack, or a house.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, mansion. That's what it was stood for. Mansion, apartment, shack, or house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I love it.
It'll tell you what job you're gonna do, what kind of car you're gonna drive,
I wonder
how many circles you would
any
draw.
of that
whatever.
came true for anybody.
Probably not.
In the whole world.
I hope. I
that ever
doubt
played MASH.
someone listening is like, I live in a motherfucking shack.
Make it, yeah,
You know, like,
or like they make it big and they're like, I fucking told you I was gonna live in a mansion. I
it
learned.
shows it up
yes,
on paper.
MASH
up.
told me this in
I told
4th
you,
grade.
I always drew mansion. I knew this was gonna happen.
Exactly.
The okay, so y'all end y'all's beautiful relationship.
Yeah, all for
6th
one.
grade. All for one.
Mm-hmm.
What's your? Oh man, that twin. It's just funny to me that you were like, you think twins are actually cool, or is it if they were by themselves?
Right? Is
Yeah.
that weird? I'm like, I feel like that's a legit question.
Yeah, I want to know. Twins, if any twins are listening to this, write in. Did you make it in life once no one knew you were a twin?
Right. Like if you moved to a different city, I don't know, and then all of a sudden someone gets to know you and then they find out you're a twin and then they're like, all right, now you're cool.
Now it makes
we're
sense.
talking.
Now it
Yes.
makes. There's 2 of you. Now I
Right.
want to be friends with you.
Identical twins, even better.
Yeah, I think it would be weird if I think it would be weird to be a boy and girl twin.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
You know,
Right.
like those people are always.
You're
kinda
supposed to
weird.
look alike, but if you're different sexes,
Well, they don't all
then
look
that's weird.
alike.
Right, I know, but in theory, in my mind, they do.
Yeah,
look
they
alike.
all look alike. They
Yes.
have the exact same
Yes.
personality.
Yes.
There's nothing any different about them. I think
Exactly.
Parent Trap ruined our generation on twins. That's what we think. That you can just exchange.
You can
each
just
other.
like slot one in for the other.
Yeah, and no one their parents don't even know.
Right.
All you gotta do is change your haircut.
Can you imagine being a parent and not knowing like which one your kid was?
Yeah, like why was CPS not called? That should be Parent Trap 2. Mom and Dad in
Exactly.
prison. That's what that.
Like
That's what,
step 1 of parenting, like know who your child is.
yeah, easily.
I
And-
can do that.
And I don't, I don't know. Anyways, we won't go on that. We're not going to break down Parent Trap. So, okay. What's the most awkward date you've ever been on? Or worst date?
I actually have some good ones.
Okay, good.
I don't know why. I have like a couple random dating things that kept happening to me. I must attract, I don't know if it's like weird people or weird things or I just have weird vibes. I don't know, but I have like 2 stories that come to mind. And both involve like somebody getting very injured.
Okay. All right.
Like near-death experiences. So the first one is I'm the one that almost died. And I was on a date. I feel like it was around here, like we're in Deep Ellum now.
Yeah.
And it was a guy that I had been dating for not I don't know, maybe this was like a 3rd date. Like not
Okay.
long.
Not long.
Not long.
But not first
But
date.
I felt like maybe I liked him. And we were at the Taste of Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and which I thought was like a cool date suggestion, you know. And we were walking and I was eating a chicken kebab. And I think that I don't know, I was like a little nervous in the moment and like totally forgot to chew. Like it shouldn't be something that you have to think about.
Yeah, no, not it's a natural thing.
And like the big chunk of chicken like went straight down my throat and got caught in my throat and I almost died.
Like how close were you to choking?
Like he had to do the Heimlich.
Oh my God.
I'm not even kidding. And like I'm standing over this big old trash can. You know, it's a festival. Like
Yeah.
it's just so gross. And he's giving me the Heimlich and everyone's staring and I was like turning bright red and like literally had a couple seconds there where I could not breathe because of this damn chicken kebab.
Yeah.
And I only have myself to blame. Like I didn't chew it. Like I just tried to inhale it. It was so weird.
And did you spit it out?
It came out.
It
Like,
came out,
it came
right?
out. Yeah. It didn't like fly out like it does in the cartoons, though.
Yeah.
It just like kind of dribbles into your mouth, and then it's in your mouth, so then you're still awkward.
One time I was choking on a piece of steak. And my wife and I were at home. We've been married for like a couple of years at this point. I was just like choking on this piece of steak, and my wife just panicked and just punched me in the stomach. Like,
Like, isn't that the wrong way? Like, don't you go hit someone on the
like,
back?
punch the shit out.
She's just trying to finish the job. She's like, he's halfway there. Let's
Let's
bring this bad boy home.
I mean, the look in her face of like she like panicked, but then like it was like I know what to do, and just straight punched me in the stomach.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
Not at all. But I'm still here, so like, you know,
So am I.
it kind of worked. So
Yeah.
after the Heimlich,
Yeah.
and you're out of the chicken, you know, the kebab. What happens the rest of that date? Like,
I bought some wine glasses. Like, I just went shopping. And I bought some wine glasses that were, they had like skeletons on them. It was real weird. And then I think that was it.
that was it. No more after that.
No more after that. I think
Yeah.
I totally weirded him out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. But I felt like it could go one or two ways. It's like
That
it
could have
either-
been how you
it's
met
like-
your husband.
Right. And then that's the story you tell at
Yeah.
the weddings. Like, I saved her life at the festival,
Yeah,
Taste
I
of
always knew
Dallas.
it. And that's why we have kebabs. Enjoy the kebabs, guys. You know,
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and
Look at the kebab buffet.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Remember to chew. Love story.
Yeah.
No, it
But
didn't
no,
work that way.
What?
No, he totally broke up with me.
like,
Thought I was a weirdo.
Yeah, he's like, this girl doesn't know how to eat.
She doesn't know how to eat. Like, she's totally embarrassed me in front of all the festival people.
Good thing I took the CPR class last
Right.
week.
But, you know, credit to that guy because he did save my life.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I'm glad for that. The other one, the other
Okay.
story is another like pretty new-ish relationship. And the guy asked me if I wanted to go skiing, which was like totally random.
Yeah.
And I was random at the time and was like, okay, I like to ski. Why not? You know, it was, I don't know, we'd been dating like a month, like, or maybe not even. But we went to Colorado, I want to say like Keystone, and like the maybe third run of the trip, he fell and broke his leg in 3 places. It's not funny, but it is. Like, he just ate it.
Hilarious.
And I barely knew the guy. Like, so
You're like, shit.
I'm like,
You're probably,
mother
Yeah.
effer. Like,
I would have been like,
what do I do? Like, I can't just keep going skiing. Like,
yeah. Because how many days left did you have on the trip?
It was like the first of 3 days or
Oh,
something
God.
like that.
So the next 2 days you're just hanging out with him in the
Right, in the
hotel
hospital.
or whatever.
Hospital.
Oh.
He had to get a rod put in his leg. Like, yeah. So, like, I obviously, like, helped him.
You're like, so we bought the 3-day ski passes. Obviously, you understand, right? Like,
right. Yeah. Like, can I get my money? But I didn't. I wanted to keep skiing. Like,
of course, you don't know this person.
I don't know him.
I mean, you have sympathy for him because he's a human being, but you don't really give a shit.
Right. Like, I mean, I felt bad for him, but I was like, okay, if we weren't, like, if this wasn't here and, like, you a few months or weeks into this relationship got, like, sick or something, like, I wouldn't be taking care of you.
No.
We're not there yet.
And your life wouldn't be any different. You'd be like, I hope you would text him and be like, how you feeling
yeah,
today?
exactly. But now all of a
Whatever.
sudden I'm like sole caretaker.
Yeah, I DoorDashed you some soup.
right.
But now,
yeah, like, call me when you're better and, like, we'll see if there's any.
Yeah.
But I had to take care of him. Like, he went to the hospital. It was bad. It was traumatic. I had he's like, call my mom, tell her what happened. I'm like, your mom? Like, so I'm in the hospital. I remember, like, the doctors coming up to me like, okay, what's his name? What's his birthday? I'm like, I don't effing know. Like, I barely know his name. Like, this was a random ski trip. Like, I just wanted to go skiing and I wanted someone to ski with and whatever. And all of a sudden I'm like, the person, they're like, okay, so if something happens, like, what do you want to do with his, you know, like, what do you want to do with his fortune?
Decisions.
Like, yeah, I'm like, get me out. I'm like hyperventilating, like right now, sweating, just remembering all of this. It was bad.
Amputate the leg. He doesn't need it.
Right.
Like,
He doesn't need it. And it's like, give me the go when like I know he's gonna make it and I can go hit the slopes. Like, and I think I had some friends in town or like that were also randomly there at the time. I was like, want to hang out, But
So were you there? Did you stay at the hotel or the hospital for all 3 days?
I think I ended up doing that. I mean, I didn't
Stay the night?
No, I don't think I stayed the night. Like that was a little much. But then I was like alone trying to navigate like all the gear,
Yeah.
Like the ski gear sucks.
Well, you're trying to, so like what? Yeah, because I'm sure like, okay.
I'm like, all right, I guess I'll get your damn boots
Yeah,
and
so
like bring them back to this place and like knock all the snow off and find your glove that's up the mountain. Like, it sucked.
Yeah, careful flight out of there. How to get out of the snow? That's what I'm wondering.
They have like this. They have like the little jet ski on the snow, whatever you call that thing. Snowmobile, that one.
The snowmobile's taking him out.
The jet ski.
And then and did you have to go with it? Like,
yeah, I went with him for like all of this.
And did you take the snow gear with you to the hospital? Like, where are the skis?
No. I mean, at that point in time, it's not like I could be like, wait a second, let me go gather up all of our gear. So I think the guy on the snowmobile's job is to help collect the belongings.
Yeah, that probably happens once a day.
A lot, yeah.
Terrible job.
Right, yeah. But I was like, trying to figure out where to go in the hospital and checking in and everything. It was just like such a beating.
Yeah.
And I'm an a-hole to bitch about how hard it was on me. Because this guy's like got his like
hashtag pray for Julie.
It was right. It was a bad injury, and I feel like we did not really ever recover from that. Like, because after that, like he had to. I don't want to like be mean.
Well, he's on like one of those he's probably one of those scooters or whatever.
Well, yeah, like he had to like have his mom drive him around and like do it just wasn't good for our dating life. Like,
no, absolutely not. You don't want to go on a date with someone with crutches.
Right. Like my mom's gonna we're talking about moms driving you around in 6th grade, and that's kind of like what happened.
I was like, call my mom. I would be like, you can talk. Like you have a leg injury.
Right. Yeah, your mom doesn't need to like have this argument with me about dating or whatever. Like,
yeah. And who are you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awkward.
Yeah. So how are those?
Those are some good awkward dates. Do you have like an awkward do you have like a creepy or an awkward like someone trying to hit on you?
I mean,
because did you live the dating app life or were you?
No, and I'm really sad.
Are
that
you?
I missed that. Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have to.
I'm glad that I'm not like relying on it for like my livelihood and like having kids and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. You're glad you didn't have to have that to find somebody? Is that what you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. Does that mean?
No, I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm glad, whatever. That people meet on there and have wonderful kids.
Yeah.
So I should take that back. I have friends that have wonderful kids of someone they
From
met. But I feel like there'd be more
have
pressure.
Tinder kids.
Right? Like there'd be more pressure. I don't know. So no, but I think it looks fun. I think it looks like a lot of fun to just be able to sit there and like swipe around. Yeah.
Yeah. I had been married for about 2 years, I think, when Tinder came out. And my friend, he was single at the time, and we were doing something. I don't know where we were at. And he was like showing this thing to me, and I was just dumbfounded by it. I was like, you just push a button off of a person's face?
It's like all the things you were told not to do, like to say if you think someone's cute or not, right?
Like, that's all it is.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be kind and not, it's not about looks or appearance. It's about your heart. And it's like, no, maybe. Yeah, but
save for later.
But like, and super easy and like nice for like the lazy dater. I don't know. We had to rely upon like actual conversations and like going to the bar.
Awkwardness of going to talking to a girl at a bar.
Yeah, like there was 5 years of my life. It was like my girlfriends and I going to the bar and like trying to find someone who we might want to like marry.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that. Like,
and the guys were looking for not that.
Not at all. No guy was like, you know what, guys? All right, boys, let's get together. We're finding a wife tonight. Like,
No. Not at all.
Step one.
Start
ask
thinking
her
about
her 5-year
your music
plan.
when you're dancing with your mom. Think what you're going to play. Let's start planning because tonight it's going to happen.
Yeah, get her dad's number.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
no, but us girls were like just dumb enough,
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like this is going to be beautiful and magic, and it just wasn't. Dating was terrible.
What? How did you meet your husband?
We met through work. he's on the coaching staff for the Stars.
Okay.
And so when I was covering the Stars for Fox Sports Southwest, doing the Stars Insider show, I was just kind of like around the locker room a lot, like getting interviews and stuff. And so he knew who I was from that. And then I actually spent 1 year working for the Stars.
Okay.
Because I wanted to try like a real job, like a 9 to 5. You know, I remember like feeling like I was missing out on like going to happy hour and like talking about work
You didn't
stuff.
miss anything.
Yeah, I was like, what's this like? Like, so I did that for a year for the Stars in their community relations department.
Okay.
And that year we were like actually coworkers. And I remember the Christmas party, I went with my boss and he went with Mark Crawford, his boss.
Okay.
And the coach at the time, for those that don't know, Crow. And that night we just ended up kind of like talking and hitting it off, and then started dating that 1 year that I worked for the Stars. And then I went back to Fox Sports Southwest and kept doing TV. And that was a little weird, I guess, but we tried to make it as not weird as we could for everybody around us, right? But we met through work.
Nice. Yes. The last person that was on, they met at a Golden Chick.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah. Christina Ray met her boyfriend at a Golden Chick.
Mike?
Yeah. They were doing a thing, a
okay.
remote there.
Okay.
But she didn't tell you that. I was like, where did y'all meet? And she's like, at a Golden Chick. And I go, what? Like,
that's nice. That's
so,
a fun.
Yeah, I was like, that's a
I love them
story.
both. I remember when I first saw them out, like we were at a concert thing, and I remember seeing them like, wait a second, you, yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. I love them both.
And so how long have y'all been married?
Coming up on 8 years
8 years.
in June.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the coolest date that you guys have been on recently?
I think that we love to travel, and since he's from somewhere that's really amazing, like we love going back to Canada. We haven't since COVID. But we would go for like 3 weeks, and then he and I would take off on like a date excursion because there's like family there.
And stuff,
yeah. And so we go to Victoria, which is like both of our favorite cities ever. Victoria on Vancouver Island. Love it there. And outside of that, we both love like a good steak. So we'll like go to a nice steak restaurant and do something low key.
I'll tell you this. I've been listening to your episode. I almost got teary-eyed in your one of the episodes at the beginning when you were talking about how your husband proposed when you were going through Canada. I was like, dang, I'll marry him. Like that's like an awesome story.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm gonna tell people to listen to your podcast to hear that story.
Well, thank
They should.
you. Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
It's at the very begin. Like it's like I think it was like might have been your first episode.
Was it?
Maybe.
Well,
I don't
the
know.
first episode, Emily and I there was cancer talk in that.
Yeah.
In that
so
episode.
it probably was that episode.
Yeah, it might have been.
So they should check out your episode.
Yeah.
Oh, last thing.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
You have Facebook?
Yeah.
Will you look at your Facebook memories for today and find the cringiest thing that you posted about from years past?
Oh, yeah. I saw one yesterday.
What was it? Do you remember?
It said, and it was so funny, I almost even posted about the post now, which is like very meta, like, but it was like, I would give more than anything in the world to be at the Australian Open watching Andy Roddick play right now. Like,
why? Yeah, why are you?
why did I put that on Facebook?
I don't know.
It was really weird.
Mine are terrible.
It was from forever ago.
Yeah, and you think you're deep while you're putting that up. Like, this will get the likes. People want to know about me wanting to be at the Australian Open right now.
It was so weird, and I don't know that I've gotten much better now. I hope I have.
I'm sure you have. Well, I'm sure 6 years from now when you read your post, you'll be like,
why was I like putting these random things on Twitter, like trying to be funny?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you never know.
I know.
All right. Where can people find you? What do you want to promote? What
The
can
Mom
people check
Game. The Mom Game is the podcast that we've been referencing that I do with Emily Jones. And we have Mom Game Instagram at the Mom Game Pod. The momgamepod.com is our website. You can fill out the form at the bottom, get in touch, it says. You subscribe, sign up for our newsletter, all of that. We're trying to kind of do as much as we can with it as a business and a podcast as well.
Sweet.
So, yeah,
Awesome.
it's fun.
Well, guys, make sure you check out Julie on the Mom Game podcast. Subscribe to this. You can find me on Instagram at Michael Pasvar, or check out michaelpasvar.com. Dates that I have coming up: I am headlining the Comedy Arena in downtown McKinney, March 4th and 5th. I'll be at Rollertown Brewery in Salina, March 26th. There's other dates on there, but go to michaelpasvar.com and check them out. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.